Okay. So we're coming from a very good day yesterday. Today, let's only look for the A+ setups, no FOMO, nothing else out there. All right. Only trade the patterns. ZV, yes. Tesla, Facebook for me. Of course, we have Nvidia, Netflix, AMD, and others, but I'm focusing on few. So this is important for me, focusing on few. Over here, we'll keep Bookmap on my right. So if you want to have and hold and keep the screen share and zoom later, use my Bookmap over here. I put it on the right so you can only even screen this part over here. Okay, traders. Again, I have to repeat this because a lot of newbies get in and don't know what to do. You receive an email explaining everything you have to do when you join the room, how small cap room works. Go in the welcome room on Discord and read all of this. It tells you what you have to follow. Then you just need time and willing to study. Okay, small cap room is not an alert room where you come in and you basically are promised, okay? You are promised that you will make millions the first month. That's bullshit. Leave that marketing for others. What you do instead is teaching how to day trade. You will lose, so accept that you will be red. You will have like struggle days. You will have like sacrifice to do, because in order to become good, you have really to suffer a little bit, all right? And that I tell you because I explained in my last videos how I faced the big drawdowns in my trading career. When I lost money, when I had, for example, anxiety, when I didn't have still a perfect system to trade. And I tried to put in a video, everything that for me was, I would say, a teaching, right? Was a lesson. Now, focus when you start on one strategy. Start learning only everything about this strategy. Don't look at others, don't look at other stocks, don't look at other cryptos, other futures that are not part of the strategy, okay? If you see, I don't know, Charlie or Lehman trading something else, don't necessarily follow them. Focus on your plan. Then the second time, when you have time, you go there and you study what they J lines. By the way, traders, just a question over here. You see better with the monitor like this, or you see better with the monitor as this? Actually, sorry, no, as probably as this. Just want to know your opinion. Sibel, what do you tell me?
Perfect.
First case, okay. First one, perfect. Okay.
Swiss cheese?
Okay.
Did you say?
So some say the first one, some say the second one. Okay, it really depends from everybody. You see, it really depends from everybody over here. Okay. No, I mean about the chart, sorry. I mean about the charts over here. Thank you, Nuno. You prefer this resolution or the one we had before? First one, exactly. So let's put back resolution how it was. Okay, I run a 4K, so this is, I just need to put probably a little bit of, customize a little bit more of your parameters, all right? Okay, so ready to go this morning, ready to make a very good day. Thank you, Nuno. Swiss, actually no. Better definition as the first one over here because the second one is only half of that definition. So probably it's by your side. So ZV on the short side, Tesla, pop and fill, yes, pop and fill, Facebook, pop and fill. Reversal, we're gonna take for long. Okay, are you ready? Thank you, Mike. Okay, so time to connect traders. Time to connect traders to Zoom, right? Remember, put your stop loss, prepare your plan, respect your plan, and do your due diligence, all right? So study and prepare. So see you in about if you go over here to check, for example, Sol, you will see the same thing is unwinding. If I go to check over here, link, something that I really want to buy for the future, but it's still unwinding. There's nothing to trade long yet. There's nothing. But what you see, like a lot of social people telling that you have to buy. Fuck, let them buy. You buy better later when you have a better price. Okay, that's the main point. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, buddy. So go check after how Kyle traded. So very, very good over here. Now, going to Facebook. J-lines is where I'm looking to trade these traders. So I'm staying for this possible pop over here. Preparing Facebook. We'd like to see the open at 249.50, 250. So this area. So I want to see this pop, right? Just into this zone. And then right away a slam down and then trading a short. Yeah, Vancy, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. I'm looking for this pop. So the other thing that you can do is first, look at BOOKMAP. I explained yesterday about 1 hour and 30 minutes how to use BOOKMAP to trade this. In this case, traders, I'm looking for the high volume zones. I need to make a little bit over here of clean. Okay. So that 250 over here, 249, 250, this is the zone I'm looking to short, right? Then I'm looking at Tesla for continuation, or again, as I said, a J-line curl. Nvidia, nothing for today. Netflix, nothing for today. Netflix yesterday simply lost something like 40 points from the pre-market. Crazy, crazy. Yes. Sibel, just try to stay connected and focus with 1 or 2 stocks, right? Don't try to trade everything out there because it won't simply work. Few things, but good. Few things, but good. Okay. So we're coming from a very good day yesterday. Today, let's only look for the A+ setups, no FOMO, nothing else out there, all right? Only trade the patterns. ZV, yes, Tesla, Facebook for me. Of course, we have Nvidia, Netflix, AMD, and others, but I'm focusing on few. So this is important for me, focusing on few. Over here, we'll keep BOOKMAP on my right. So if you want to have and hold and keep the screen share on Zoom later, use my BOOKMAP over here. I put it on the right so you can only even screen this part over here. Okay, traders. Again, I have to repeat this because a lot of newbies get in and don't know what to do. You receive an email explaining everything you have to do when you join the room, how small cap room works. Go in the welcome room on Discord and read all of this. It tells you what you have to follow. Then you just need time and willing to study. Okay, small cap room is not an alert room where you come in and you basically are promised, okay? You are promised that you will make millions the first month. That's bullshit. Leave that marketing for others. What you do instead is teaching how to day trade. You will lose, so accept that you will be red. You will have like struggle days. You will have like sacrifice to do, because in order to become good, you have really to suffer a little bit, all right? And that I tell you because I explained in my last videos how I faced the big drawdowns in my trading career. When I lost money, when I had, for example, anxiety, when I didn't have still a perfect system to trade. And I tried to put in a video, everything that for me was, I would say, a teaching, right? Was a lesson. Now, focus when you start on one strategy. Start learning only everything about this strategy. Don't look at others, don't look at other stocks, don't look at other cryptos, other futures that are not part of the strategy, okay? If you see, I don't know, Charlie or Lehman trading something else, don't necessarily follow them. Focus on your plan. Then the second time, when you have time, you go there and you study what they J lines. By the way, traders, just a question over here. You see better with the monitor like this, or you see better with the monitor as this? Actually, sorry, no, as probably as this. Just want to know your opinion. Sibel, what do you tell me?
Perfect.
First case, okay. First one, perfect. Okay,
Swiss cheese.
okay.
Did you say?
So some say the first one, some say the second one. Okay, it really depends from everybody. You see, it really depends from everybody over here. Okay. No, I mean about the chart, sorry. I mean about the charts over here. Thank you, Nuno. You prefer this resolution or the one we had before? First one, exactly. So let's put back resolution how it was. Okay, I run a 4K, so this is, I just need to put probably a little bit of, customize a little bit more of your parameters, all right? Okay, so ready to go this morning, ready to make a very good day. Thank you, Nuno. Swiss, actually no, better definition as the first one over here, because the second one is only half of that definition. So probably it's by your side. So ZV on the short side, Tesla, pop and fill, yes, pop and fill, Facebook, pop and fill. Reversal, we're gonna take for long. Okay, are you ready? Thank you, Mike. First one, exactly. So let's put back resolution how it was. Okay, I run a 4K, so this is, I just need to put probably a little bit of, customize a little bit more of your parameters, all right? Okay, so ready to go this morning, ready to make a very good day. Thank you, Nuno. Swiss, actually no, better definition as the first one over here, because the second one is only half of that definition. So probably it's by your side. So ZV on the short side, Tesla, pop and fill, yes, pop and fill, Facebook, pop and fill. Reversal, we're gonna take for long. Okay, are you ready? Thank you, Mike. Okay, so time to first one, exactly. So let's put back resolution how it was. Okay, I run a 4K, so this is, I just need to put probably a little bit of, customize a little bit more of your parameters, all right? Okay, so ready to go this morning, ready to make a very good day. Thank you, Nuno. Swiss, actually no, better definition as the first one over here, because the second one is only half of that definition. So probably it's by your side. So ZV on the short side, Tesla, pop and fill, yes, pop and fill, Facebook, pop and fill. Reversal, we're gonna take for long. Okay, are you ready? Thank you, Mike. Okay, so time to connect traders. Time to connect traders to Zoom, all right? Remember, put your stop loss, prepare your plan, respect your plan, and do your due diligence, all right? So study and prepare. So see you in about
All right, good morning, everyone. So it's about 9:05, starting the morning show just a little earlier today. Not much going on in the small cap world. It's still kind of slow, just waiting for those good opportunities to present themselves. I'm green on the month right now. Had my 5th green day in a row yesterday, but not making big gains, just catching a couple base hits here and there, trying to keep my head above water until the next kind of INDO like we had last week. This one paid pretty nicely. So waiting for something like that to show up, and When we start seeing something moving like that, we'll know. We won't have to guess. We'll know. So just have to wait. Bigger gap down on Facebook this morning. And yes, reminder as always that trading is risky and my results are not typical. So I do encourage you to take it slow and trade in a simulator before you put real money on the line, especially those maybe tuning in for the first time on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. I hope you hit the thumbs up and enjoy the morning show. This is going to be a watch list. I may do some live trading if there's something that presents an opportunity. Happy to do that, but that'll be if something presents an opportunity. I've already been streaming for a while for Warrior Pro students in the chat room, and will continue streaming until I'm finished trading and have taken my last trade of the day. If I haven't taken a single trade by 10 a.m., then I wouldn't take any trades. That's my hard cutoff. It's kind of a rule of thumb that I've found that if I haven't gotten green by 10 a.m. and then I start trading at like 10:15, 10:30, that typically doesn't end well for me. So that gives me a window, up until about 10 a.m. to find my first trade. Facebook is not my go-to stock, as you may already realize. So the float on Facebook is 2.5 billion shares. 2.5 billion shares. All right, it's a huge float. It's got 7.8 million shares of volume. It will have high relative volume today. That is for sure. There's no question about that. It's already on 37 times relative volume. Yesterday, the total volume on it was 58 million shares, it looks like, which was increased because, of course, the after hours sell-off, which was the highest volume in that little kind of sell-off that it had in a while. So I'll give you my analysis on it. Daily technical levels, you have support at about 244.61, and that is a double bottom. So that is a pretty significant level. That could be a level to look for a dip trade, but we know that earnings and guidance were poor and is not being received well. At the same time, it's going to be a double bottom coming into that level. It would form a triple bottom if it bounces right there. So that could be a decent spot for a bounce. The one before that was about 253, but we're well below that now. And then there was a small level at 247.25, which was the low of this candle here. But the problem with this naturally is that it's $246 a share. So I even in my retirement account, I think I have around $670,000 or something like that. I can only buy like 2,000 shares of this, 2,500 shares. I cannot take a very big position of this stock. My margin account has leverage, but it doesn't have that much money in it. So I can't do much over there. And my goal is to not trade in that account too much because the income in the margin account is taxable. The income in my retirement account is, of course, tax free. And I'd like to keep it that way. So keep my profits that way as much as I can. So, yeah. And so at this point, while there may be some opportunities on Facebook, the price is a bit of an obstacle for me, even now. And this is why some traders would like to have that $600,000 in a margin account. 6 times 4 is 2.4 million. And on the off chance that you have a stock like this that's moving, you could take 10,000 shares of it. But if you make 40 grand or 50 grand on it, which would be 5 points on 10,000 shares, well, don't forget half of that going to Uncle Sam. And depending on what state you live in, if you live in California, you could say goodbye to half of it. But if you live in New York, Massachusetts, it's close enough. You're in the 40s in terms of percent of taxable income there. So these are short-term capital gains, tax at regular income levels. They're not a long-term capital gain. So it's hard enough to trade without half of your profit being taken away. Now, that's obviously when you're at the top income bracket. If you're at the bottom, then it's different. And for beginner traders, and when I was getting started, I started at a level where I didn't have a lot of taxable income. So it wasn't too bad. And of course, made good decisions about making sure to keep close tabs on the amount of money I spent on software, right? Because that's as you're making money, if that's your business, and that you could deduct that against your gains and things like that. Obviously, not to give tax advice, but just to share with you some of the things that I think probably makes sense to look at. So, in any case, I encourage all of our students to set up a Roth IRA and to trade in your retirement account as much as you can, because it's doing yourself a favor. You know, it's for you in the future. So I would encourage it. But in any case, this morning, so 2 issues. So I can't short Facebook in my retirement account, because you can't short in a retirement account. So I'm not allowed to do that. And I don't have leverage in a retirement account. So I can't take big positions, which means I do have to leave a higher balance. But even right now with a $600,000 balance or whatever it is, that's not quite enough to be able to do much on this one. So let's see. I could just check down here my balance at the end of the month. So my balance was in the retirement account 671. Yeah, at the end of the month. So about 671. So it's a little higher now, but not a lot higher. So that just doesn't, it just doesn't give me a lot of room to work on something like Facebook. Now, again, for a swing trade, if I did a dip off of 244 and held it for a couple days, but with the earnings and the guidance being negative and not received well, I don't know if you're going to see this knee-jerk reaction of a big sell-off and then a pop, or if you're just going to see a more sustained pullback for a longer period of time. And on the other hand, Google, news of the split that they're going to do and good earnings. So do you see money go into a stock that is just performing better? Maybe. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to take swing trades, and I don't have the cushion on the month or the cushion on the year to take sort of higher risk speculative trades. So it's about 9:15 right now. I haven't taken any trades yet. I'm interested to see if we have something that starts to pop up and then becomes a bit obvious for small cap traders. I know small cap traders are getting antsy. We're waiting for something. So when we get something that starts to open up and look exciting, you'll certainly have people jumping off the sidelines to try to take a stab. But right now, it's just about being patient. I'm not really familiar with this one. Is this so natural gas short? Yeah, so that's an ETF. So I don't have a lot of interest in that. So yes, AMC is volatile, and certainly some people would be happy to try to trade it each day. The relative volume is a bit lower, so that one for me is just not really interesting enough. So back to the near top of the scanner to answer your question there. BON, why am I not looking at that more closely? Well, the news was after hours, and it moved on the after hours news, and it's continued squeezing pre-market all the way to 6, but now it's back at 4. It is a somewhat recent IPO. I like the idea of it, but it's pulled back too much. So that's disappointing. So right now it's below the VWAP. It just doesn't look that great. BCDA, this one, the float is 14 million shares. The price is now under 2, and it's below VWAP. So it's just not really that interesting right now. I'd prefer not to trade these lower price stocks in any case. I seem to be doing better between 5 and 25 than, certainly under $2. Between 2 and 5 is fine, but I just seem to do better when the price is a little higher. We see bigger range, more volatility, and it's just easier to move in and out. With a $1.50, $2 stock to make $10,000, you're going to need 20,000 shares in a 50-cent move. But if it goes up 50 cents, that's a 20% move in one trade. That's a pretty big move. It's not impossible, but that's a big move. So then you start thinking, well, I could take 50,000 shares, and if I get 20 cents, but you'll find that even getting 20 cents a share on these is not always that easy. And then you've got a big position. You might have gotten some slippage getting in. You're going to get some slippage, when you get out. So it starts to be a commission churning type of situation. So what do I think of traders who trade the same stock in order to specifically learn how they move? I've certainly heard of that over the years, traders that, focus on trading Tesla every day. Some of those traders that I've talked to have said things like, well, if it goes down, I don't mind holding it overnight because I really like Tesla. So, then they get into holding it sometimes overnight and kind of averaging down and stuff like that. And that if it works for them, that's fine. If they're really comfortable holding the stock through a longer period where it's pulling back, then that's okay. I've asked, well, what if you got in at 1100 and it's pulled back this much? What are you doing on the days sort of in between? Do you just not trade? Because, if you're getting in and out, you're changing your cost basis. Some have said, well, I have more than one account. I have a retirement account and a main account, so I can kind of, even if I'm still holding on one, I can trade in the other, or vice versa. So, anyways, I think that that's interesting, but I think it's easier said than done. I think it's actually a bit harder to be consistent just trading the same stock every day, because you're going to be trading it on days where it has relatively low relative volume, and moving in and out with small positions might be easy, but if you want to try to scale that up to bigger positions, it might be hard. And you could have some institutional trader who, a Bill Ackman type of person who's like, oh, okay, hey guys, why don't you go sell my 1,000,000 shares? And all of a sudden it's, 1,000,000 shares hitting the market. yes, there was a time where I didn't take pre-market trades at all several years ago because we really didn't have a lot of volume pre-market. You would have a stock that had news, but maybe only like 10,000 shares of volume. And traders would wait to the bell, until the 9:30 bell for the most part. There was a little volume pre-market, but just not a lot. And then it just started that we were getting, I don't know. I think the traders started just not wanting to wait to the bell. So if you saw a stock that had news at 9:15, it was like, well, these always seem to spike up at the open. I'm just going to get in here at 9:15. And then some people were like, well, maybe I should get in as soon as as soon as the news breaks at 9, and so on and so forth. So now it seems like it's a race to jump in as soon as the news breaks, which is not surprising. I kind of thought that would be the direction. That's the result of more participants in the market. Traders trying to get a jump on each other. So we've got about 5 minutes to the bell. So far, the gap scanner is pretty much unchanged. Facebook in that one candle just dropped 2 points. All right, so what's the deal there? Look at that big red candle. Where'd that come from? It was a 10-second candle, 100,000 shares. Is that just one? It's like, what? All of a sudden, 2-point drop. Well, Facebook probably won't get halted up or down today. It's not that it couldn't, but I'm not sure that it's going to move enough to get a halt. So you could look at a Facebook short at the open for a sell-off to 244 and then a possible long off 244. But realistically, it's already down 23%. From 46 to 44 is only, at this point, $2 a share, $1.50 a share. It's at 45.80 now. So you don't have a lot of opportunity to the short side at this point. It might make more sense just to watch it for a long off of 244.61 and just see how it trades at that level. Hang on one second. So there's 244.61, just about. So if it breaks that level, what's the next level? Around 234, 235. So typically at the open, I would expect a little capitulation sell-off. Since it's right at this level, that makes me think that it's going to break it. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure that it's going to hold this level since it's coming into the open right at that level. That's not going to allow for the panic selling at the open. So I don't know, just something to keep an eye on. No small caps yet on watch. For those tuning in on YouTube, thank you for tuning in for the morning show. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. I'm going to be out tomorrow, but I'll be back at it next week. And hopefully we have a little more action in the small cap world because it's been slow. But we will. It's ebb and flow, and we always see these cycles. So manage your risk. Take it slow. Reminder that my results are not typical. And I'll see you guys next week.
And change. So if it does drop to the downside, we could have our first loser on board here. But look at the NASDAQ. It's not, this is just an aggressive play. This is why we're not loading up on anything here. We're just kind of just going to throw some shares around here on Square and see what happens. Because the NASDAQ, this is what I always look at. And I mean, you know, we're well off. We've extended away from the 50 period. So again, in a market that was pretty sick today, you know, it is manageable, reasonable to think that this does retrace back into some of these levels, as it can't be green shoots ahead, right? So let's just wait to see. Hopefully Square can battle. We'll see what PayPal's doing here on this one. But if we can get out some out at 107, man, we'll take 70 cents on that. Here's PayPal. We don't need the daily. I need the minute on PayPal. Here it is right now. So it's trying to go upside a little bit. There goes Square right now. So yeah, we might as well, guys, take a piece out on Square. It's a nice trade here. It's all the way up to 80. So if we can get an offer out, we will do that as we try to close the gap and then get it. Bang! There it is again. Another one right now. So we're on one today as there goes Square. 7 for 7 today trading for you guys. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6. And all clean, man. Super clean. Like Mr. Clean. Easy entries today. Easy to follow the trades. I mean, the DWAC trade doesn't get any cleaner than an 80 break. We didn't get it initially, but we took it there and then got the average in as it dumped back in. That's a clean trade. Square is one in there. That's pretty clean there. And then Facebook's the only messy one other than that. But Snapchat, a nice win as well to the downside. So Square, good take as it just dropped right back in.
Yeah, I just got out. I'm going to take it out quickly on GameStop. Remember, going counter trend on something that's put parabolic. GameStop, keep in mind, like it just broke $100 off the open and looked like it was going for another fall, holds the pre-market lows. So when you get a strong move like that, you want to make sure that it doesn't give a consolidation off of this. That's the pre-market high at 103.60. Zero coincidence I'm getting out in front of it, so quickly get in and out. When I see something going parabolic, always do your diligence. First thing you do is go to the higher time frame and try to find a point of failure before, and not just a place where it stopped. A place where it stopped and fell. Like if you look at what happened at 107 a few days ago, it dropped 107 all the way down to 93. Then in the afternoon yesterday, it got up to at 1 o'clock, it got to 107, and it dropped through 100. So when it's bouncing off 100, where are you going to go short? You're going to wait patiently. You don't try getting in at 4s, 5s. Forget about the high of the day. Goes to 107. If that had failed, I would have come right back to that 110 level and then maybe even 114. But once it's gone too far, I'm then looking for the retracement. Zila's now back into VWAP. I'm starting to take some shares out in front of VWAP. I did miss the ad on Zila, but I think I didn't remember this because it was up on the day. Zila was short sell restricted. So when I tried to hit the bid, when it turned at 87, you needed an uptick. And if I had remembered it was short sell restricted, I would have been on the offer on the way to 87. Bit of a mistake by me. The stock can be up on the day, but if it was down over 10% the day before, then it certainly falls SSR.
All right. Yeah, good trade there. GameStop here, as we still are $2 in the money on DWAC. We're just going to wait to see if it takes out this 83.50. Not much happening there, as it looks like it may do that. Remember the spread here, guys? So this does have a chance to go, and we'll just wait. Like, it's 40 cents on the spread, right? So we really are in the money if we take the offer 250 right now. That's a good trade. Square bouncing around. Like I said, I'm not in love with the NASDAQ here, so we may just take Square out. But the NASDAQ could keep going. Let's take Square out if it takes out this 106.30 and just put what we've made in our pocket and move on. So Square right now, if it wants to take it out, we'll get out of here. But we're going to go over to Brendan right now.
Another one that reported, guys, Honeywell, we were talking about it briefly in the pre-market there. Yeah, still down at day lows basically after the revenue missed on their report. It was 195 though. If you zoom out on the daily charts, a decent level for HON. Trying to find a bottom for Honeywell, it would appear anyways. At this point, don't go anywhere. Coming up in about 15 minutes. Yeah, we're going to have Guild on the show, a UK-based gaming company, going to tell us their story. This company co-owned by none other than David Beckham, guys. David Beckham. So Guild coming up in about 15 minutes.
It's pretty cool.
Talk about Posh Spice.
I will. You guys know I'm more of a Liverpool fan, so Michael Owen, baby. No, don't get me wrong. David Beckham, unbelievable. I think it'll be a good guest. I mean, it always is. So make sure you tune in for that. And also remember, we have another half an hour to go here. But Platinum Prad and Arun are going to be back in the middle of the day. I think it's going to be another great show. The futures are moving, and that's why you want to make sure that you're tuning in there. I did want to come back over to DWAC. It never, like I said, you wait for your price level. I know it's turning right now, and it's like, yeah, but why don't you go short when it makes that turn? Well, in GameStop, I wait for 107. 107 was the price. You wait for it, you get in. DWAC, when it's running like this, you've got to have a level. It's like, so when it gets in, it turns at that price. You know this is where I'm wrong. And if I think I'm wrong at 85 and you go short at 83, well, then suddenly your risk is $2 in slippage. And if that doesn't fit your plan, then you can't short it at 83. It's just a simple answer for me, and the answer was no, even if it ends up working out. I'll be happy that we followed our rules. We talked a little bit about Spotify. Well, we keep talking about Spotify. I don't know if either. Did you trade Spotify today?
No.
Yeah, so there was one chance in the morning on Spotify up at 175, and that wick, the spread, I'm telling you, it was up there so fast, it then fell $20. And then tried to come back $10 and is reversing again. So Spotify getting absolutely crushed. This was one where it's one thing to be like, okay, we like to short, but unless you were right there, maybe sitting on the offer at 174 right at the open to just get scooped up, I don't know that there was a decent way to capture that trade, but falling like an absolute rock going into earnings. I guess it's still up from the pre-market post-market lows, but those post-market lows are absolutely insane. So I mean, I don't know how much credence you put into it when it already fell like $50 into those levels. It's too thin to maybe give them too much effort. It actually caught a bid at 155, and then now that's the new low. So 155, if that breaks, I mean, I guess the post-market lows were in play, but there's nothing weaker than Spotify. I don't want to feel like we're ignoring it, but did miss the trade at the open.
Wow. I was getting nervous about Square and why, man. I mean, we should have $1.50 in the money. We took it out right there for like 30 cents on that VWAP. So, wow, just absolutely horrible there getting out of Square. But, hey, we just add it, man. It's 6 for 6. When you go 6 for 6 sometimes, that's like a free throw line move. Boom, right there. Shout out to the Raptors who continue to be balling as well. So, shout out to you guys beating the Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat. Some controversy with the Miami Dolphins, that's for sure. Yeah, we'll just go dab up. So if you guys have been following the trading today, it's been a good one, man. Including DWAC, including Square. We just added Square to the chart there for a nice little move today. We could check out Google, and this is what I mean, guys. Like, I'm in a pretty good mood despite what Facebook did. I mean, I'm pretty happy that at least it's not continuing to crank lower. Facebook right now at 247. We had the 241 long, but what I was bringing up here was Google. Like, we bought Google yesterday, man. And I mean, today it's up again. We made 2% yesterday on Google. We're making another 0.5% today. And honestly, Google's running to 3,300. So we'll see what happens here on that name. Google for the win, always and forever. Let's wait to see what happens with Apple. Apple 175 as well. So although the NASDAQ getting pumped today, obviously off of Apple, you can see what the big guy is doing, man. 175 right now and making higher moves and only down 0.06. Almost flat for the big dog today. So yeah, good trading for, look at this. Look at this trading for Apple today. Yes, sir. Hold my beer, says Apple. Right there. What's up, Bradley Taylor? Let's talk about this right now quickly. Are all your scalp setups back tested? Yeah, no, not all of them. Most of my trading actually just comes from, you know, stuff that I'm looking at, part of momentum on the stock, you know, various plays like that. I do back test. I mean, I added the 50 period, but right now, honestly, we always say back test, but I've been around here enough that I sort of have my strategies and I know what I'm doing. So to be honest with you, no, I don't back test everything. I don't even really review my trades every day. I do look back at them when the show's over. I look and say, okay, what did I do? So I do review, but it's not like a deep dive. It's just more like, should have I held? Was there a better entry? Was there a technical indicator that maybe I could have looked at? Should have I maybe been a little more bullish or bearish based on the day and things like that, which is why I was really upset on this trade right here. And I'll tell you why. It's because my mentality for Facebook was that we were going to try to buy some dips. So, you know, when we started to break back up, and at that point, the 50 period was right here. So I got out thinking that we could retrace back to the upside. That bias stopped me from crushing this all the way to the downside, even though just literally minutes before I put this in here, I said, let's wait for some kind of a blowout bottom, which we get on that wick right there. So that really would have been the indication. See, this is what I mean. I panic on one green candle in 1 minute. Like, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a green there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 13 candles there. Out of the first green one, I'm like, I'm gone. So yeah, so that's kind of the stuff that I review all the time and just try to figure that out. And right now, right back in the money. The People's Trader still has this one. We're barbecuing up profits on DWAC. Now $3 in the money. Let's see if we can ride.
And there's last night when we were going over Facebook, I candidly said I was most concerned this week with Amazon's earnings, oddly enough. And another name that we're going to get the report, but you just showed Google.
Yeah.
Alphabet, upside. Oh. Amazon is getting smoked, man. Like, it's down 6%, but that's actually bounced off the bottoms handsomely a little bit here. So Amazon looks like it's a bit of a risk off. Remember, the market has been running. Overall, the NASDAQ has been bouncing the upside, and we're still below the lows on Amazon. So there's still some skittishness, I think, in the overall market. Watch out for... that Zila, by the way, back now below VWAP. I got some bids in front of 80, but this could, rejection at 87, that's the level I wanted. Again, I didn't get the ad, unfortunately, that's my mistake. I should have had some at 86 on the curl, I missed it. I think all the way down to 75 is worth a hold. And if DWAC wants to make another move, it has to be 85, right? Like, the only level I want to turn is up at that 85. Double top on the daily chart here on DWAC up at 85. That's the only level I wanted to short. Now here it comes.
And there it is, man. Superman DWAC right now, $4 in the money to the upside. And I just want to talk a little bit about Amazon here, guys. So unlike, this is the thing, like sometimes you can sort of, look, I'm long Amazon. I remember getting mocked for buying it at 1,000 and people are like, what are you doing buying that at $1,000? But anyways, look, so this is the March. Remember we talked about Facebook just getting back to March lows? I mean, Amazon is still couple $100 lower than these March bottoms. And we're just talking about March 2021, not 2020. So, you know, that's Amazon's in a much more world of a hurt than Facebook. So, yeah, I'm very, very nervous about this quarter. Although I think that there's some nice tailwinds with Amazon. Obviously, I think Alexa, they have a whole bunch of new products. Their Fire TVs and things like that have expanded. But obviously, I would have loved to sell out of my Amazon anywhere around 3,200 or something like that on those recent pops would have been great. Should have been more forward thinking about the Amazon short there a while ago, but I think it's too late now. You're already bleeding on Amazon, and I expect a horrible report as well, but that's just par for the course. I have no idea what the stock is going to do. What's up, Brendo?
CFVI, I looked at this when it was at 12, kind of consolidating, and thought, that should probably go further. So there you go. CFVI up 5% now as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, CFBI, Funware, it doesn't really matter. 85 is approaching rather quickly, although DWAC, it just turned at 84 even. And again, like I keep saying, it's just, you have to follow your rules. You're going to go against the grain on something like this with that kind of momentum, then the risk reward has to be right. So if it turns here, then I don't mind that we might possibly miss it. Roblox, by the way, you guys are pointing out here. Oh, give me a break. Roblox, load. This is happening in Roblox right now. Roblox just fell $5, breaking through 60 even. It looks like it was a short seller report, the Bear Cave or something like that, just a few minutes ago. And then Roblox just broke down, so $60. Daily chart doesn't want to load up on Roblox, but Roblox just got absolutely smacked from a high of 65 right into the 60 level that you're seeing right here, right now. Brennan, do you have it?
Yeah.
Bear Cave, as you mentioned there, the actual report. So I'm going to find a link for this and see if I can throw it up in the chat. But this is pretty extensive, you have to say. Like, there's a lot in here. So I'm going to read through this and see what they don't like about Roblox, guys.
They love Roblox. That's the difference. They want to get long at $50. These guys are crooked, and I guarantee you that report is BS. So take it for what it's worth right there. I would be a buyer of Roblox, but I'm going to wait for lower on that name. These guys are jokers, man. There's a reason why Citron stopped this. It's because it's too easy to read through these guys, honestly. Okay, thank you so much, Michael, member for 4 months. And Bradley Taylor, thank you for the nice words, man. Great work, and I like this one, Henry. What's up? The Bang Bang Gang. So I like that one. Thank you so much for that one. There's the Roblox report. Thank you so much. Yeah, hell yes, Sean Crooks. You're right, Tyrone. They're all crooks. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Daniel, as well. Good call there. Sean's got it all sniffed out. Not all of it, but most of it. Like I said, my opinions are mine and mine own, but that's what we're doing. And what also we're doing is how about the Diamond Hand Gang here on DWAC? As right now, man, this is mine. It's actually, Facebook's going to be my #1 stock, but this could be #2, as we are, like Neil said, fast approaching 85, and your boy has this at 80, guys. This is why we are the people's champion, and you can go right there. We trade this out. $5 now in the money for DWAC. See ya, $86 now on watch. So watch out for DWAC going to the upside right now, $6 in the money. Man, we're liking this one. I don't have any plans of getting out on this. I mean, this could come all the way back in. Let's just have fun with DWAC. We know there's a huge, I don't know if there's a huge short interest. We try to do this.
It's the float. Remember, it's not short interest with DWAC. It's the float. It's a small float.
Yeah.
There's actually no short interest data on this stock, remember?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, there's no short interest data on this stock, so you got to watch out for that. But there probably is people loaded up short.
Well, I'm sure there are.
But there it is, a nice little break to the upside there, 86 and change. We're just going to hold this all day, man. I think we could touch 90 something. So we've seen DWAC do this. Nice little move in the money, $6 in the money. So yes, sir, backflips over here. And now it's sector watch time with Brendo, and the board actually doesn't look too bad. I'm interested in what that top blue one is there, the top left. What's up, Brendo?
I know it.
Wait, your left. Yeah, right. This one is DXC, 12%. Yeah, the software group kind of getting saved by that. Earnings were a little bit better than expected, but otherwise you can see red. Yeah, very red right across the board for the tech group today, including hardware equipment makers and the semiconductor group. Healthcare stocks, on the other hand, down there, a little bit better than expected, I would say, on a day like this. You can see HOM, BDX, MCK leading the way there, about 4%, all three to the upside. These two are the main problem on the day. Facebook and Twitter, 5.5%, 23% still there for FB. T-Mobile over there, on the other hand, we talked about as well very briefly, almost 10% to the upside for T-Mobile, having a great day. Discovery and Viacom being dragged along with it. Industrial stocks pretty choppy so far today. You guys were talking about Amazon to come still this week, 6% to the downside there for Amazon leading the way in the consumer discretionary group. We mentioned Ralph Lauren, 5% off of a decent report as well. So overall, very choppy back and forth kind of day, but we are still down, guys. 1.08 on the S&P. Back to you.
All right, let's just hit the home run for Roblox. I mean, I don't have it, but preach on, man. I mean, I just said that was a completely BS report without even reading it, without even knowing who put it out or anything on Roblox. And look at this, man. You're up now $2 from that bottom. So hopefully some of you believed in that. I mean, I don't know. I was busy watching DWAC. And plus, I didn't know. Like I said, I want to read something like that before we actually get into that right now. But there it goes, man. Straight up to the upside here goes Roblox off what was, I believe, without reading it, somebody that's just trying to get long Roblox near the bottom. So congratulations on that report. What a surprise. It comes out the day that Meta is in question. Like, give me a break, guys. Like, puff, pass on that one.
Yeah, and I thought I paid for DWAC shorts. I'm like 99.9% sure. Apparently I didn't. I had to scramble. When it finally got to 85, there was no curl. It tried to break higher. It got to $87, so we're in the pocket that I want to short the reversal. It ticked up to 86, 85. I tried to hit it right here, and then by the time I paid for the shorts, we're already down $1. I'm not chasing it. Again, it's all about risk to reward here, and I'm not going to chase a short once I've missed out on what, to me, half of your gain is getting that quick little curl there. And it's the same thing as GameStop, right? Like, if what I'm going to be doing when you get that top is look at the curl and then immediately get some out, then take the next leg down. Well, if you miss the first portion of it and then start chasing, if it makes a consolidation, then bounces higher, suddenly you're too far away from your out. And then it breaks 87, and then what are you doing? You're losing that $2 in the trade when you were trying to capture $2.50. So I don't think we're going to be done with DWAC by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly still on the move. The market did try, like we said, the market did try to bounce to the upside. One of the names that did try to go, if I can get to Square here, was Square. Ignore this wick here. It never really got back to the 110. I'm still, and I'll probably be here all day long on that in front of 102. If the market makes a harsh reversal, this is one of the levels that, because of the double bottom it put in on the daily and the 15, 102 is going to be worth defending on Square. Even if the market's kind of like falling apart, I'd probably have that tight stop to the lows that we saw earlier in the week, which is just below 102 on block. But hey, we teed it up. We've got our guest of the day. Let's go to the desk with Brendan.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we are going to the esports space today, and specifically Guild Esports, as we said, co-owned by none other than Mr. David Beckham. Cal Howard is CEO of the company and joins us on the show today to give us a little bit of a look at Guild Esports. Very interesting space, exploding in popularity over the past couple of years. Great to have you, Cal. Give us a little insight here on the company.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love your show. You know, the esports industry continues to grow by double digits year over year. We believe 2 to 5 years, and we believe that Guild could be one of those top orgs. You know, specifically looking at the UK, we saw on an unserviced market, and we really believe that you know, if an investor wanted esports in their portfolio, there's not a lot of options. You know, so we chose to go the public route and list on the London Stock Exchange main market. We are using that investment to grow fast. And we believe that you know, building a loyal fan base and a brand that our brand partners care about is going to lead to success. You know, and today we're sitting with 8.4 million in contracted revenue in just 1 year as a listed company. We've got an owned audience of over 1 million now, and a total network reach of 15 million, and that's creating media value, and the brands are getting excited, and we've got more brands at advanced stages in our pipeline than we've ever had. So we just believe it's an awesome space for investors to consider, and Guild, I think, is poised for a great 2022.
Let's talk a little bit about the individual portions of this business, because we're talking esports, we're talking professional athletes in the esports industry. There's an entertainment division. There's also an apparel division as well. Let's dive into the individual sections of the business here and let these viewers know what they need to know.
Yeah, sure. So, you know, our business, we make money primarily from sponsorship revenue, and you know, the brands care about eyeballs, and they care about reach, and we've grown from literally zero followers to a network of over 15 million now. Obviously, David Beckham's influence is a huge help, but we're growing and building a brand that those partners care about. We're launching merchandise, which creates revenue. We've got an esports division that has won 4 trophies already, and that's not easy to do. And we're continuing to knock it out of the park in terms of esports. And I think what I'm most excited about is our academy. We launched a Guild Academy last summer, and what it is a path to pro system. I think anyone that's watching this has kids that, if you've got kids that play a particular traditional sport, how to get them involved at an early age, and how to help them progress with their passion. And as far as video games go, other than the levels in the particular game, there is no path to pro system, and that's what we're building. And the kids are gravitating to Twitch and YouTube and watching pros and content creators, watching them play video games more than ever before. And I think it creates incredible opportunity for these kids. We're looking at it from a holistic perspective, so it's not all grind in the video game hour after hour. It's looking at it from how are their sleep habits and their health, their nutrition, focusing on school and physical activity, and we believe that all of that does lead to improved in-game performance. These kids are signed up to a subscription model, so Guild is pulling in £5 a month on that. We're able to turn these kids into loyal fans and create a tribal loyalty in the business, and we're able to grab the cream of the crop, the top performers that have a chance to go pro, and sign them to contracts, and they could potentially play on a Guild roster, or we could transfer them in the transfer market, and that's additional revenue. So there's a lot to this, but in a short year we've come a long ways, and 2022 is looking very exciting.
I love that concept of providing the path to more success, I guess, for the younger generations, looking for a way to maybe get involved in a greater manner, but just don't have the information that is needed to do so. So on that note, the company just leased a brand new space in London over in the UK to, I guess, become the headquarters for this training. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so we signed a lease on a 3-story building in a very trendy neighborhood at the tech hub in London, an area called Shoreditch, and this is going to be not only our headquarters and training ground for our pros, but it is also the physical academy location. So these academy subscribers, academy students that have performed well and have a chance of going pro are then invited to the physical space where they're training alongside our pros. It's very close to a traditional Premier League academy model, and we're really excited about that. But I guess what's most exciting from the CEO's perspective is the revenue opportunities that come with having an asset like a headquarters, like this building, and the commercial opportunities in terms of naming rights on that building. Naming rights for the individual rooms within the building. It's really an investment, and it's going to really pay for itself and bring in a significant profit for the company in 2022 and beyond.
You mentioned the sponsorship side of the business to kick things off here. I'll throw out a few numbers here. Pretty impressive, $4.5 million or £1 million sponsorship, I should say, with Bitstamp. Even a deal with PlayStation for FIFA 2022 for an actual tournament. That's a big name, obviously, to be involved with.
Yeah, you know what? We couldn't be more proud with how far we've come in one short year. And to be completely honest, I thought we were going to come, deliver a lot more. But we're positioned to do that in 2022. We've signed deals with some of the biggest brands on the planet. Subway, Samsung. HyperX, and most recently Bitstamp is the longest running cryptocurrency exchange on the planet, and we're just going to continue to add to that. In addition to our partnerships, we're also doing a lot of activations, and the big brands trust us, and they're using us as a vehicle to reach that very difficult to reach Gen Z audience, that those esports fans. So we couldn't be more proud with what we've built so far. We're just getting started, and very, very excited and optimistic about 2022 and beyond.
It's an exciting time to be in this industry because it's, as we said, an exploding one every day almost. It's great to have Cal Howard, CEO of Guild Esports. Check them out, guys. Listed over in London on the LSE. You can see GILD, ticker at the bottom of the screen there. Thanks for doing this, Cal. We look forward to an update.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day. Guild Esports, guys.
I mean, an absolutely fantastic interview. Thank you so much, Brendan. The thing, I know Trader Prad's all about esports, so he'll talk about that. But the thing that I think that we didn't really, I think metaverse is also like esports being involved in the metaverse. I think esports has a nice runway as well for more upside potential in esports. I mean, people can put on the Oculus and maybe they can like be involved with their team, with different teams, different people. It's awesome. I didn't realize.
Can you imagine being in a game, watching? Like you're watching the game and you're you're watching others play, but you're watching inside the game.
And I didn't realize there's like a transfer fee and things like that. I feel like we are talking about like premiership and all that stuff all over again. So awesome. I like that guest.
Well, you remember this, like at our old trading floor, we were at a different location before, and the bar which was right next door, obviously
right?
Trading floor next to this bar, so it became the trading floor's bar. But they converted to an esports, like so we lost them, and then that's what they became a few years back, and it's
then
growing.
You had to go and have your chicken quesadillas and watch esports.
Oh, you know, like it was bad, man. Like I was eating we go to the same bar almost like 2 or 3 times a week after. You shouldn't do this, but anyways, after the close at 4 o'clock. And I'm, get a pint and the quesadillas because that was my favorite. I was eating, for the first couple of years of my trading life, I was eating chicken quesadillas from the sports cafe like 2 or 3 times a week. It was out of control, man. Eventually your metabolism catches up with you and you have to live better. But the market's still moving, by the way, and falling back a little bit here, Sean.
I was going to say, the good thing is already we're getting a lot of feedback here from our audience looking to buy that stock. So go ahead. It is on the pink sheets. So we did have that symbol up for you. And then it was
primary in London.
LSE listed. So you will have to talk to your broker or whatnot if you can get access to those markets. And then maybe, well, the listing is already there. So if you do have access to OTC markets, get going on that one. Okay, so the only position I have here is DWAC, and it's just whacking back and forth, not doing much right now. 84, 86, 84, 86. It only tested up here once, blew up to 86. 87, like $7, man. We had $6 in the money, almost $7 in the money on DWAC, which is like 8.5% or so on 80. So a nice move up for DWAC, and we didn't even take it. So let's wait to see where that goes right now. I see Snapchat at 52-week lows, already taking that out at 20. Oh my God, Snapchat's 52-week low, guys, was $28. And we're already at 25. That's an embarrassingly low number there. Pinterest down to 8% again. Names are just getting a little ugly here, but this is why I'm pretty happy that we got out of Square here. We did miss that dollar on the bump up, but look what's happening right now. Square bouncing off 104 and change. I see Randy over there. Someone else is yelling Ford like crazy. So there he is. What's up? We'll look at Ford in a minute, but I believe that was Brendan. What's up, bud?
Yeah, let's get you up to date on what you need to know as far as earnings are concerned. Another big day coming through for earnings reports after market tonight and before the open tomorrow, guys.
Who's in the middle and getting down 6.5% today? Of course, like I said, look, I don't think Amazon necessarily pulls the move at Facebook because 20% is huge, but this was the one that we were concerned more about, I think, this week, and it's going to come through. Pinterest, Snapchat, we talked about already down pretty heavily, and Activision, like, of course, just keep in mind, like, earning reports matter when there's a deal, but it's a cash deal, but it's a huge spread. Like, it's not trading anywhere near the buyout price, which does mean it can move on earnings. A lot of times you'll ignore earnings on a buyout. I don't think you can this time with Activision because the market is pricing in that there's like one chance in 3 that the Activision deal doesn't go through. And that's not insignificant. I think a lot of people think it's not going to happen.
Oh man, sorry, I'm trying to get this Unity chart to load because it didn't IPO here back in November. Yeah. So no, Unity here. Let's just use this chart instead. Here, I'll go with my e-signal chart. So here we go. Let's just pull this out a little bit. Unity coming to report, right? So they've had a very, very rough ride here as it goes. This is Unity, right? Yeah, Unity. There it is, Unity software. A big move to the upside right here, okay? But look at it fade right in, man. The high is 200, and you go all the way down into 90 and change here on Unity. So I believe that, again, if you are a fan of Metaverse, if you are a fan of, possibly, like, Microsoft should have bought Unity, not Activision. Like, there's a lot. I mean, I'm definitely, as you could tell, against that Microsoft purchase, but whatever. I'm only a shareholder of Microsoft, not of Activision and not of Unity. So I'm not like I'm talking up Unity there, but I like that name heading into the metaverse. Unity, you can create games, make games, whatever you want with that Unity software. And a lot of popular games did get coded with Unity. And my kid can code with Unity, and he's 10. So if it's that easy for him, obviously he's just making stick figures and stuff. But I do like that, and I think that that's a play. So I'm down with Unity, but I mean, you can't be down with it too much because it's just one of those names. No profit, like there's not much to go on here. It's an Aunt Kathy special, so we know what the market's probably gonna do to this one tomorrow, as it's just been straight fire to the dumpster fire to the downside for Unity. But that's a name that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. Obviously, the spread is a little bit spicy. As here we go, DWAC, starting to get back up to the upside. We're just holding this one name, and I do plan on holding this all day. So let's see if we can take back out 87 on D to the W, A to the C.
Oh, and we never want to ignore positions that we're in, but a lot of times, if you watch the show enough, if one of these small caps starts to sort of die down, break VWAP, and continue to fade, I just kind of hang on to it. There was a bigger move in Zila just now, like just we're doing the interview, kind of capitulated through this support at 81, went all the way down to 79, so the flush might be in. I really missed the boat on that 87 re-entry or add to on Zila. Definitely a good short up there. Do watch out. Like, you'll see FEI moving, DWAC going to be moving. There's a heck of a lot going on here today, and it's been an absolutely fun show. And you guys are going to have even more fun when we send you guys to Market Movers with Trader Prad. Platinum Prad, he is now. And thank you guys so much. By the way, the plan went perfectly yesterday, and the 3,000 was no trouble getting to the 3,000 likes. So thank you so much. Prad is very excited to be going Platinum Blonde when Ms. V comes back. And Arun, I know we're talking about Square. Arun was trading Square today. And you guys are going to be really excited to see who was able to pull off there, because Square, a big-time mover today.
Yeah. Very excited to see that. We also made some money on Square as well, and we're going to get right back into Snapchat, as this was a good trade for us here today to the downside. So let's just play off this. And I was just thinking to myself, like, look, man, Snapchat is going to miss tonight. They're not going to beat. So with that being said, is the price going to be lower or higher than where we are right now, right? So we're going to go short right now. We're already short at 55. Watch Snapchat as we get ready to throw you right now. Let's go over, Lucas, to Market Movers. Let's go. Thank you for watching. It's Market Movers, Arun and Trader Prad.
All right, welcome to the Platinum Prad and the Arun Show. We are here, obviously, to cover the market for you on a Thursday, February 3rd. So any questions, any stocks moving, make sure to put them in. What's up, Arun? How's your day so far?
Hey, man, markets are down. So you got to look at some shorts. We talked about this off the top there. There was some stocks that were moving hard. Facebook, obviously, in the news, everybody was looking at it. So we'll go.
Everything. I had to shovel my backyard and my front yard for my dad for the backyard. Anyways, moving on past that, I came in looking for opportunities. It felt like I don't know what to trade. I was so lost. It felt like it was my first day back. I was like, okay, let's look for some opportunities. I saw Apple at the high day when the market was kind of coming down. So I got in, obviously broke rule number one. I scalped out most of my exits near 1750s being my best out. Sorry, 175.50s being my best out, and my entry was pretty much near 176. I think 175.98 was my entry. So having that pretty good of an entry over there, scalped it out on the uptick of the market. But what I could have done is gotten back in, maybe given it a little bit more risk, because it looks like we did go past 176 all the way up to 176.91 and then came back in. I'm not sure if that was a dark pull wick or not. Let me just go verify that real quick. AMD on the 1 minute. So that was a dark pull wick all the way up to 177. So it only went up to 176.24, and the previous high when I was shorting it was 176.07 was the previous high. So if I would have gotten back in, given a little bit more wiggle room, I would have been able to got another short on Apple. So far, this is my only trade of the day. As you guys can see, only 9 trades on me, and this other stock is getting bought out. That's why it's at a 300% premium. I think it's getting bought out for around $3 or so. So we're just trying to figure out what we can do with this, and that's pretty much my trading so far. Looking for more opportunities.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing, right? By the time we get to this show, the majority of the opportunities they've already set, they've already moved, and we just got to figure out what else you can potentially take. So that's why this, you know, when we get to the show, it tends to be slower. So whatever we've already positioned into, that's what we're riding. And now we can go to my screen here, and I'll show you guys what I'm carrying right now. This is what I've still got. I've made some other trades that I'll go over as well. So I've still got a Facebook short at just in front of 246. So that's $1.20 in the money. Pins out of the money, 26 cents on a short as well. And Qualcomm up $5 in the money. That one I've had since morning, and I haven't even touched it. No management, nothing. Before I continue on, Nick putting in some work here. He said, I bought Facebook on the dip at 254, a small stake. Can you help me understand if I am stupid or not? On the dip today, I mean, it's just one of those things where when you try to trade Facebook today, it's going to be a momentum play, right? The way it's moving, it's a momentum play. So you do have to be aware that if you're buying, you're in and out quick. Whether you're buying or you're shorting, you are in and out quick. Now, the problem with Facebook, though, is the way it's been moving. Let's just take a quick look at the daily, because that is what I like to do. This is what Facebook did, right? So the fact that we're down this much, and we're all the way down here at 240 and change. Let's just scroll back. Is there some support for 240? So it seems like you've got some support. So if you've committed to a long and this is an investment and not a trade, then you should be okay until 230. If 230 goes, you're probably in trouble. But at the same time, a move like this is one of those snapback moves. So temper your expectations on what you could potentially make of it. So there is a reason to be long on Facebook. But it goes all the way back to, what is this, 2020. It goes back to about July 2020 where there's some volume. So I can argue there's a reason to buy Facebook, especially with this type of drop. And on that note, though, I do want to show you a trade that I made on Facebook. Yes, I am short now, but I also had a similar idea, Nick, on going long Facebook not right off the open, but heavy into the initial sell point there. So what I did there, let me pull up the 1 minute. So when it fell off of 250 and it was sitting at like 247 or something, and I think it opened at like 245. I sent an order at 242 and a half right here. So if you look at the timing of that right here, this is my long right at the bottom. I caught it 15 cents from that initial bottom. But at the same time, this is not my strength. This type of trading is not my strength, but I felt that there was too much selling, so I was looking for a rebound buy. So I get the fill from the low. It shoots up like $4 in the money instantly. You see it within a minute. It just shoots right back. I'm like, sweet. I'm trading this against 240. I've got a good price. If we're going to get that momentum flashback or just like that snapback rally, I can take this into like 248, 249, and then I can worry about figuring it out. Well, it turns out Facebook had a different idea and decided to go right through 240. So that initial snap long got destroyed or wrecked, if you want to call it that. And I got out here at 239, and then it went all the way to 237 and decided to kind of rally back a little bit. So that initial snap play that I lost on made me think, okay, what levels can I potentially work with if I really wanted to trade it now? Like the way I like to trade it, not just like on a snap oversold condition type of play, but how do I like to trade it? Well, let's just set that up now. I like to see this type of movement, right? We were hesitating around, this is a 15-minute chart. We were hesitating around 246. So I try to go against it one time, lost, and then I'm like, okay, let's see what it does when it gets back to this area, that 246, 247. It decides to go up there and starts to find some selling. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So as I wait on this and see how much more selling it's got, we know it's been trying this level it's been trying to hold this level yesterday. And now when we get back up to it, I'm like, we're really stalling out. there's some volume here. I can work with this. Let's go for the short. I went for the short, and that's the short. That's $2.50 in the money now. So what am I looking for in terms of targets? I want to see what would happen if we get back to 240. I think 240 will be really telling. If we start to find some buyers around 241, 240, then I'm going to take some profit, walk away. If we start to lose this level, meaning if we get back above 250, I'll walk away. It's just one of those things where this is how I like to trade and this is what I want to see. And now that I've positioned myself well at the right location, I want to see this thing start to move where I want to, where I can make my next decision. And Facebook's one of the few trades, and I'll go over some other ones after as well. Brad, is there anything you're looking at right now?
I'm just going through the chat. So someone's asking, will DWAC short squeeze because of the, let me just quickly make sure what the DWAC short squeeze numbers or the short interest numbers are. I don't see, there is none? Oh, right, that's true. So, there could be, but we don't know. Yeah, so it's a low flow, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure if you want to be thinking of DWAC as a short squeeze play. You want to be thinking of as a Trump pump play more, and I'm not calling it a Trump pump and dump play because obviously there's an actual company coming out of this. There's an actual application. Now the value of that application and how much money that media side of that application is going to bring in, all of that depends on the way they manage it. So obviously, I don't want to be thinking of DWAC as a short squeeze play. You want to be following the news, following if the application is actually going to come out on February 21st. Yesterday, if you guys were here on the closing show, Brandon clarified it a little bit more, which was basically Apple developers gave out the release date, which was still February 21st, but the company said, we're still going to see if it's going to be around that date or a little bit further, but not too much further away from February 21st, which is a great thing for DWAC. So DWAC once again back on its ascent, back to $100, and we were just talking in the group trading floor chat that we have on Google Hangouts, and it was basically one of them said, DWAC, I'm not going to touch the stock until it goes above 100 and when we're closer to February 21st. That's basically the same mind state that I am being a day trader. Yeah, this 4 million volume is great. Everything's fun. But what's not fun is how the spread opens up on the stock every single time that I'm watching it. We go from sometimes 50 cents, sometimes 60 cents to maybe 10 cents at times. So I don't want to be, trading an $80 stock with 4 million shares that randomly opens up spreads at different times of the day. And if breakouts are not the cleanest setups for me, then I'll just wait for the spread to tighten up when we get closer to the hyped up day of February 21st. Or whenever the application drops. And obviously, if DWAC is moving around that time, when the application or when the media starts moving it, you're gonna see something similar in Fun. So Fun today moving 14% to the upside, having just a rocket ship trajectory north right now. Let me just quickly go back to DWAC, see what DWAC's looking like. Yeah, okay, so there we go. DWAC 5%. And Fun over here 14% with a lot more volume. I mean, $2 stock. If this one doesn't have a lot more volume than DWAC, then that's a big question right there. But yeah, 8 million shares, at 250 right now, and the high of day at 260. Let's see if we can take out that high of day, and let me see if I can find some levels on the dailies over here. I have a lot of lines over there. So what's the closest line we are at? Looks like 297. This volume point of control over here at 297 for the past month or so. So since November till now, the volume point of control is at $3. So if we do get to $3 today or sometime soon, I'm expecting a rejection of that or at 320 for Funware. Prad, we all know DWAC is your best stock ever. I wouldn't ever trade it either. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm not trading DWAC because it's my best stock and I don't want to ruin that it's like taking away the Grammy off the shelf and drinking shots out of it every day. Maybe once and twice is good. Nah, it's not that type of mentality. It's I just don't see a setup in it to trade for me that I would like it, especially because of the spread opening up so widely. I would love to smash it once again on February 21st.
All right. Somebody was asking, did I not take Snap? I tried. At the same time I had orders out on pins, I also tried to get Snap shorts as well, just underneath 27. I was sitting 10 cents away from the market. So it was like I was sitting just at like 93, 26.93 or something like that, and it wouldn't go above high enough to get me filled. So yeah, I missed out on Snap. One trade I did not. I am reviewing my trades because the only ones that you guys see are the current ones, right? You see Qualcomm, you see Facebook pins, but I've got some ones that I've cashed out on. And I want to show you guys the reason being. Maybe this, seeing the chart on them and my decision making for it will help you guys out. Spotify, Spot, I was on that. That was a nice little. That's actually my biggest winner on the day, and it's a fairly large one too. Let me get Spot running. Here we go, Spot. So if we get the 5-minute chart on Spot, you'll see that I was short right here, 168. So 168 against, I forgot where the stop was, but it was a 168 short, and it was nice. We went into the open, it was about $4 in the money, and then it spiked. I was like, okay, we're still okay because the stop was, I think, north of 180. So it was an expensive trade in itself, and spiked all the way up to 175. But if you look at the way I trade anyways, if you look at the daily, we were in a good location. A decent night, a nice little move up wasn't going to be a problem because we would have, oh, this doesn't help the situation. Okay, let me get a 60-minute in there because that's a little confusing. A decent move to the upside isn't going to be a problem because we still have volume from the 28th, right at the end of January. There's some volume around that 172 area, so that's the reason I went for the 168, stopped north of 180, and you saw what happened once it got into the 170s, right? It kind of fell off, tapered. My first exit was 158, so $10 almost on Spot on the initial or in the first half of the portion, and then I got the rest of it managed out around 164 half. So we averaged out $3.50 on the second half and about $10 on the first half. You can do the math there. It's about $6.50, $7 or so on Spotify. That is the biggest winner I've got on the day. So hopefully that kind of clarifies what I like to look for. I like to look for that, previous areas where we spent a decent amount of time, which also means volume, where I can play with or against. In this case, I played right up with it, where actually I played up against it because I was trying to use that as level to kind of go for the short. So that's my play on Spotify. Facebook, going sideways. Qualcomm going sideways. I'll get to Qualcomm as well. Is there anything else?
Market's ripping right now, though.
If you call that rip,
No?
yeah, sure. It's going up. It's going up.
Fair. Yeah, I'm just going through the chat one more time. Obviously, someone's mentioning XLF. Let's take a look at what the financial sector is doing. On the way to work, I was obviously going through articles, and in there I saw the Bank of England. Is it Bank of England? That raised it by 0.5 points, the interest rate.
Was it today? I have no clue. I haven't looked at it yet.
So I think it was Bank of England that raised their interest rate points by 0.5 today. And obviously I was talking to my dad yesterday too. My dad's like, "What happened? What happened to Facebook? What the heck is going on?" And I was like, "Look, man, things are getting bad. Sometimes things are getting good, and it is what it is." But in that conversation, he's like, "Well, if we're getting into a high interest rate time, shouldn't banks be a great buy? Shouldn't we start looking to start buying banks?" And he's not wrong by saying that. So XLF, obviously, if we're starting to raise interest rates, that means more money to the banks. Obviously, we haven't done that on the American side yet. So whenever that happens, watch for XLF to maybe get a nice little bump up to the top side. We can quickly take a look at your banks because we're looking at the ETF that covers all the banks. And here we go. JPM 1% north today. Currently at the high a day right now as we talk about it. Still a lot of time left for European close, so we'll see how the European close comes out for the market over here. Some of my orders are just getting canceled because I'm being careless. All right, so JPM obviously going up 1%. We'll talk about Wells Fargo, WFC. Where's Wells Fargo? We're today at also on the, kind of flat on the day, not really doing what JP Morgan is doing over there. So I would love to see what it is that's causing JP Morgan to have an absolute rip on that side. And we can look at Goldman Sachs, GS. Goldman Sachs also flat, but on an upward trajectory. I mean, it is up 0.5% with 600,000 shares traded so far, and trying to get back to those $400 levels. We'll see if the interest rate changes that should be coming up sometime next month or so is going to allow it to get back into those territories. Going over to real quick for the low floats that we're moving today. Well, maybe I'll talk about the guild stock instead that we were talking about, because I did have some points about that. It's not on NASDAQ, it's on OTC, so PK. Maybe I'll pull it up over here. But yeah, Guild, obviously esports. I'm big into esports. Arun was asking me how easy it is to win esports trophies. Obviously, it's not the easiest thing to win an esports trophy. It's one of the harder things to do, because there's so many teams out there. There's so many players out there. Everyone's just signing up to play these games all the time. But after doing a little Google study to see what kind of cups that these guys win, it's like Fortnite and stuff like that. So not bad, decent cups. But this is not the one I want either. Guild on LSC, Guild Esports. Here we go. The problem though with these are most of these esports companies are running red. They're not making profit. They're all running red, and they're selling at crazy high valuations. Like 100 Thieves selling at crazy high valuations was insane. And FaZe also has some crazy high valuations from the who was the rapper who invested in FaZe? Offset. Offset's invested in FaZe, Drake's invested in 100 Thieves. So it's a good thing what's happening to esports, but it's not like every single one of them is going to be a winner out there. Some of them are going to be big time losers, and in a horrible way. So obviously I'm not wishing bad for a David Beckham backed company over here, but obviously I've not heard about Guild until today, and I actually had to do research about them after seeing them show up.
They had a FIFA trophy, right? You said
they had a FIFA team. Yeah, they had a FIFA, not a trophy.
Oh,
they had a FIFA team.
Okay. I won't make that team. There's no way.
You won't make that team?
No way.
I mean, you got to be a kid with just like insane reaction time to be on any of these.
Yeah, no, that's not me.
Not me.
I'll stick to trading.
Hey, man, you got to stick to what you know, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
All right. People were talking about Tesla. I see the chat talking about Tesla a lot. I'm looking at the chart. The very first thing I want to look at when a stock is moving is not the intraday movement, but the daily movement. Where is it moving within the range that it's been trading in? And Tesla is still trading within the bounds that it's been in, right? It seems like, I think we had this conversation yesterday. 1,000 seems to be the top end level. We seem to get resistance every time we get into that 940, 950 area. So we're kind of boxed in here waiting for Tesla to make a move. If it can get above this 1,000, I think this opens the door a little bit. But it's going to be, it's figuring itself out. Give it some time. It will become intraday tradable. It depends on how you're trading it too. Tesla moving up $50 or $30, $50 from the bottom is why did I just type in 50? It's gonna be what, 880 up to 935. Yeah, it was like 880. So intraday wise, great momentum run if you can trade it intraday. Seems like 885 would have been a great trade, but it also depends. Like the reason why we don't talk about these names all the time, even if they're running hard, is because it depends on how you trade, right? I don't trade Tesla because of the price point and the fact that it's not set up. I don't know about you. Do you trade Tesla? You do, right? I know Valeria does.
I tried to because, obviously it's very active. You feel like you can make a lot of money on it, but I don't think I'm profitable on it last month. But for sure, overall in my 2 years of trading, I'm for sure not profitable on that stock. It just can't be.
It just provides a nice excitement.
It just provides excitement and excites emotions. That's it.
Yeah, it's tough to catch these runners because a lot of times you'll see the intraday. Let's just say you get caught up on the intraday, like, oh yeah, yesterday I took a bunch of breakouts, it worked great. But if you don't frame it the right way, it may get you destroyed another day because you're going long. I think we had this conversation about a different stock where it looks great on the intraday, but if you pull it out and you look at the daily, you're going right into a major level. So it doesn't have space to move. And for me, I think even if Tesla were cheaper, I'd definitely pay more attention to it. But I think for me, because of the price point, I have a cutoff. It's about like $600 or so, where if it's more than that, I have a hard time reading it because the flow is just way too fast. And the level 2 and the volume I have an issue with it. So for me, I just like to kind of get a better handle on things, especially with level 2 and volume that I look at apart from just charts. So for me, Tesla is kind of ruled out. But the other EVs, though, I didn't look at NIO. Somebody was asking about NIO and XPAV, was it?
Yeah.
XPAV, they are moving up now. If I were to look at the NIO chart, yeah, NIO's got some space to move to the upside. We just need to clear the zone, though. It seems like right here, what is this, 25? and then the gap into 27, that can become a problem too. So for me, if I were to look at NEO, I just mark it off. Like, where's the trade for me? Right there against that. So if we get above 26, fade it against 28 on a setup. That's what I would do. Until that happens, I just don't even look at it, right? Put an alert out, don't even look at it. Same thing I've done with futures, I think. I think this morning someone was like, why? I keep saying the same thing on the futures. I haven't made a trade on the futures in 4 days, or since Monday.
Yeah.
I also don't need to.
Yeah.
Right? The way I trade, I don't need to trade every day. So for me, if the futures are doing this, wide ranges too, that means I can either try to trade it intraday, or I can try to catch the moves that I want at the prices that I want. And as you can see with these yellow lines here, the prices that I want to trade at are in 45.80 or going up, or 44.40-ish going down. Everything in the middle, I'm not even going to bother looking at because I don't need to. The risk is way too high trying to trade inside the range here versus the edges. I like to trade the edges, and for me, I'm just waiting for the setup. Am I okay? It's been 4 days since it's down day number 4 since I've made that trade, and I'm just waiting. I'm still waiting. I'm perfectly okay waiting. At some point, we're going to make a move into the ranges, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do then. But until that happens, I can just keep trading. Like Qualcomm is up $5. I can take pins out 40 cents. We'll just ride this one, find other things to do until the setup is there, and then we'll just go ahead and take our shot whenever it does happen.
All right, yeah. So quickly looking at Facebook. Facebook now coming under VWAP a little bit. Obviously, I said market was ripping. Arun was like, I mean, if you want to call it, and he was 100% right because it just went and tapped that same barrier that it was tapping before. Immediately back down to go probably test the downside barrier at this point. And for ES, we're back to VWAP once again. So looks like another day, another sideways action off the open. So not much. Trading to be done because we're kind of stuck in a range, and AMD also coming off over here right now, breaking that 124 to the downside. So Facebook, while we're talking about Facebook, obviously everyone knows what happened. Bad earnings report. I've been saying this for how long now, that social media is not the best way to make money, and they obviously knew that. They started selling data, and now selling data is obviously going to be banned for them. So the only way for them to even like bring in money has got to be through what, Oculus and the metaverse. So if they don't go first to market and really capture the market over here for Facebook, I fear there could be more downside for these guys. Obviously Roblox getting beat up through Facebook from I think a short seller report over there. That's also not looking good for the tech stocks in general. But metaverse, we're talking about the future. We're talking about the potential over there. So if you believe in the metaverse, I know there's a lot of metaverse haters, and I know there's a lot of metaverse lovers too. I'm kind of on the fence in the middle because I love the whole virtual aspect, and I also love hanging out with friends in real life and actually being with people in person. So I'm kind of on the fence on that, but I still believe that there is a bright future for Facebook if they are able to capture the biggest the population, most of the population, because there's going to be a Google land, there's going to be an Amazon land, there's going to be a Microsoft land, and it all comes back down to what land is more popular at what time. So maybe there's going to be a Steam land also, and if you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about. Steam is a gaming platform where you can buy games from. It's a how do you call it, a retailer for online gaming. So you can just download games and pay them, and they make billions of dollars every year. So if Steam has a Steam land over there, and Epic has an Epic land, and Facebook has a Facebook land, then it all comes down to popularity, where most of the people are, and that's why I still think Facebook could have a little bit more darkness left inside of it. I do want to buy Facebook at these levels. It's a no-brainer. Like, it's down 24% today. It was down up to 26% at one point. When I came in, I saw 26. Obviously, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be a little patient to see what happens if they start acquiring more companies based on metaverse. Also, they can't solely depend on metaverse, because social media making money is not working. Obviously, Google is tapping into their revenue over there for advertisements. Their streaming platform for gaming is not working out, and they're gonna try and get into metaverse, which is kind of gaming too. So there's a lot of questions here in my mind for Facebook. Overall, Zuckerberg, we need you to start working 10 times harder now because these guys are coming for your money, my friend. They're coming for your pockets. They're gonna fish from it.
Yeah. I looked at the chat and they're like 1,500 on Tesla. I'm like, did I say 1,500? I meant 1,000, but my bad if I said 1,500. Maybe someone else said 1,500, but I hope it wasn't me. Anyways, going back to Tesla, like I mentioned, the range that I'm worried about is that 950 going into. It probably was me. I was probably saying 915 to 1,500. 915 to 1,000. 1,000 is a round number. Everybody sees that. It's pretty obvious on the chart. 1,000 is the marker to cross. And as you were talking about Facebook, I quickly looked over at the price and I was like, oh no, Facebook at 242.50. I actually dumped my Facebook short. I wasn't a fan of the way it was trading. I was like, we need to back off, and you're going to give me this kind of buy side action. So I kind of backed off. You see the rally that we had, right? So I'm like, I'm going to walk away. Went all the way to 247 and spun right back around. So my thing with Facebook is that it really isn't set up the way that I would prefer. It's set up on the overnight, but it's not really set up on the multi-day for me because of the way it moved overnight. So I'm much quicker to manage those type of positions versus something like Qualcomm. I'm just sitting and just, waiting for something to happen because I have a multi-day support or multi-day resistance level that I'm working with. So I have no issues kind of just sitting in it. But Facebook, I'm more active in managing because it's just an overnight move, right? It's a slower version of a scalp, essentially what it is. And then my position trading is what you're seeing on the screen. So I'm just waiting on those. And so people were asking me about my futures levels, and I did this morning. For anyone who missed it, let me grab the let me grab the NASDAQ chart here. You guys can translate this into the Qs however you guys do it, but I'm looking at 15,300 going into 15,500 as the resistance level that I want to play with. And then 14,500 going into 14,300 as the support level that I want to play with. Reason being, you see it, right? Going back towards mid-January, we're stalling out around this 15.3, decent volume, a bunch of tops. There's probably a lot of action. You go back a little bit more. There's some support buying as well from mid-January. So for me, that level makes sense. And then here, that 14.5 being the beginning of a support level makes sense as well, because that was kind of the area where we put in a bunch of highs before we kind of broke out a little bit. So for me, there should be some buying here. So longs in that zone, shorts in the top end zone, and it's pretty much the exact same chart as the S&P. They are linked. At this point, the way the levels are setting up on both the S&P and the ES are very similar, right? We're in the middle of a wide range, and we just got to wait for a range to happen. And the advantages and disadvantages of being in the middle of the range, it could be a great intraday style of trade, meaning if you catch the right momentum names, they can move, they have space to move around. The issue for me, though, the disadvantage is that if I'm in the middle of a range, I got to wait for a trade, and I don't step in, and I don't play that type of style. So for me, I got to just wait it out as I see that Facebook is looking like it wants to go towards 242. Damn it. Okay, while I've got you guys here, let me just quickly go over to Qualcomm, just show you guys what I was looking on Qualcomm. And this was quite the roller coaster. Exciting to say the least. 187 is where I got short. We went all the way down to 181, $6 in the money. I'm like, sweet. But at the same time, I was looking for a move towards 180 and that actually would stay. Yeah, just keep me off the screen. 180 that would actually stay. And then it snapped all the way to 191. My stop is north of 194. And then it came all the way back down. And here we are sitting at 182. So we're still like absolutely nothing with this. And the reason I went for this short was if you look at the daily on Qualcomm, it is sitting right at the bottom end, or top end of a range here. We really are struggling to get through 190. And this morning when we stalled out around that 190, I'm like, you know what, it's go time. So let's just go ahead and take some shorts into the move to the upside in the pre-market too. So went for the short, and then, it looked good, and then the open happened. It took off to the upside. I'm like, that's fine. If we break, I can flip the trade. I talked about this yesterday. One trade, there's two trades against one level, right? You can trade it in front, and then if it breaks, you go against it as well, or you take the opposite position. I was prepared to do that, but the level held, the area held, and here we are back down. And for me, I want to see what's below 180 before I start making decisions on how I want to cash this out. For now, it's about $5.23 in the money. But hey, we've got a lot of time left. We're only at almost a half day or halfway through the day, and this thing can accelerate. We've seen that happen in past days where we're quiet, and then the final hour and a half we just go absolutely nuts. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, what am I looking at?
It looks like that was a good all-time high short. It's kind of the same setup that Google had off the earnings report.
Yeah, but you got to be careful though. The issue is that because it's so obvious,
Yeah.
it's easy to trap positions that way, right?
Push it a little bit further. Trap
Yeah,
the
because
stops.
you essentially, if you have the juice, you can guess where stops are, and it's easy to squeeze the stops out of the way and then bring it right back down.
Right.
Right. So if you're trying to play, I always hesitate to take these shorts when the levels are so obvious, because you have to think about the psychological
Everybody's
factor.
watching it.
Yeah, you have to. It's like it's an easy trade, right? When it's an easy trade, you can mess with people's you can psychologically mess with people that way, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you kind of got to counter. You got to play against the initial